Hi, welcome to our ADL simulation video on bending. So again, this is our activity of daily living simulation where we kind of break down those exercises that we do every day, those activities, and we break them down to make them easier for ourselves to build up that strength, but also teach ourselves how to pace ourselves with our breath. With a warning here, make sure that you always check in with yourself, make sure that you're feeling okay before you start, as well as make sure that you talk to your case manager, that they've cleared you for this exercise video. And then as we go through this video, I want you to make sure you check in with yourself regularly, see how your exertion feels, how your breathing feels. Is it light, moderate, a little bit difficult, and is your breathing easy, a little bit short of breath, or is it getting more short of breath? If you're starting into that where it's harder to breathe, it's getting a harder exertion, I want you to tone it down, pause the video, take a few moments to breathe, see if you're ready to join us, or you can hang out and rather rest for the rest of today, I should say. And also make sure if you want to, before you start this, do a little bit of a warm up, get those body joints and muscles warmed up so that you're ready to exercise, as we'll be focusing mostly on the strength training with this video. Also for these exercises, you want to do them 10 to 15 times each, and you can cycle through 2 to 3 times so you get a little bit more of that benefit as you progress to that point. In the beginning, you might start with closer to those 10 reps, maybe aiming for that 15 reps, starting out with just once through and working towards that twice through. As we're bending, we want to make sure we keep a neutral spine, that we're not rounding our spine as we bend, because that can promote an injury, which we don't want to do. So nice neutral spine will protect our back from any injury happening. As you go through these, I'm going to do them a few times with you. Go ahead and pause if you want to continue doing them, or replay anything that you want to hear again or practice with me. Our first exercise is going to be our toe touch. I'm also surrounded by chairs here. I've got my chair behind me for this where I can sit down or grab onto it, and I've got a chair next to me for when I turn to you guys, you can see me. I always want to make sure that I'm exercising with something nearby that I can take a break, or if I feel I'm losing my balance, I can just sit right down into so that I don't fall. So for that toe touch, I can do it standing or sitting. I'm going to show you guys sitting first. So we're going to take a seat. We're going to put one foot out in front of us, bring those toes towards you, and we're going to do an exhale as we reach, and then inhale, come up. You can increase that time to make it more of a stretch, and we can do these a few times each as well. Make sure what you do on one side, you do on the other side of your body though too. We don't want to be uneven. So I'm going to exhale, my spine's going to stay straight. I'm going to reach for my toes or wherever I feel comfortable. I'm going to take a breath here for a moment. Breathe in, breathe out. And I can even then, on my exhale, I can come on up, or I can stay holding longer. So again, I'm gonna exhale, reach to wherever it feels comfortable towards my toes. I'm gonna breathe in, breathe out, and then inhale, come on up. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side as I go through this with you. So now my other toes are flexing towards me, pointing towards me with that. I'm going to exhale, reach to wherever I feel I can comfortably reach for, keeping my spine nice and straight. Breathing in here, and then out, and then inhale, come up. So that's exhale, breathe in, breathe out, inhale, come up. We'll do one more here. Exhale, reaching down, breathe in, breathe out, and as you breathe in with that inhale, come on up. If I'm standing, same thing. I want to have something near me that I can grab onto though here for balance. But this is kind of going to reference, if you haven't done it yet, the stair climbing, or sorry, the hip hinge that we're going to be doing actually later here. So it's a low body exercise, but we're going to be shifting that weight a little bit. So I've got my heel on the ground, and I'm going to exhale and reach towards those toes, holding onto my chair if I need to. Taking that pause for that inhale and exhale. And then on my inhale, come on up nice and slow. So that's an exhale, reaching for those toes, keeping that spine nice and neutral, looking out towards the floor in front of me. And when I'm ready, inhale, come up. With that note here, with our exercises as we're bending, we don't want the crown or the top of my head to face the ground. we want to keep our head up or looking out in front of us. The reason for that is if my crown faces the ground and then I come up, I can get like a head rush, a little dizzy, lightheaded. So when I'm bending, I might look at my toes in front of me or even further out on the floor just to protect me for that. And then as we go into our next exercise, our hip hinge, I'm going to show you guys facing you and facing the wall so you can see both sides of it. For my hip hinge, I'm going to start standing nice and tall, feet about hip width apart, so not too close together but not too far apart, as that can kind of throw off my balance or make my balance easier. So right in the middle is a good balance between those two here. So we have my feet in line with my hips. I'm going to push my glutes or my tailbone towards the wall behind me. Keep my chest up though. I'm not going to be bending my head towards the floor. And I'm going to bend at my waist. So a hip hinge. Think of a door hinge I'm having right here on my hips though. So I'm going to exhale, hinge forward, inhale, come up. So that's exhaling, tailbone goes back, chest stays up, hinging at that waist there. Inhale, come up. Exhale, lower down. There's going to be a natural bend in the knees. Let that happen as well. Inhale, come up. And I'll show you to the side here. I have my chairs around me if I need them. I'm going to feet hip width apart. I'm going to exhale, push my tailbone towards the wall. Chest stays up, back in neutral. Inhale, come up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, come up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, come up. So with that exercise, go nice and slow with your breath, building up to 10 to 15 times and increasing that as you feel comfortable. We're going to advance that one with a split stance, which means my balance is now my weight is a little bit shifted, so it's not right under me, challenging my balance here. So I'm going to put one foot forward a little bit, so I'm kind of over the middle of my 2 feet, so one a little bit back, one a little bit forward. And I'm going to do that same hip hinge here. I'm going to exhale, hinge at the waist, natural bend in the knees, chest stays up. Inhale, come up. Exhale as we lower down. Inhale, come up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, come up. As I shift to my sides, you can see I'm going to also switch my legs because I want to make sure I'm even on both sides. So I'm going to do the same thing. 1 foot a little bit forward, 1 foot a little bit back. You can always challenge yourself with your stance. Wider is going to be more challenging. We're going to exhale, bending the knees slightly, and a hip hinge at the waist, chest staying up. Inhale, come up. Exhale, bend at that waist, keep that spine straight. Inhale, come up. Exhaling, lowering down. Inhale, come up. The next thing I'm going to do is going to be a basket deadlift. So this is where we're going to challenge ourselves. So remember, you can always pause at any part that you want to replay or keep going with that exercise and then come back to join us here on this video. For the basket deadlift, this is going to just show you for laundry basket, for an example, of bending and how to pick it up. I'm going to start with it on a chair just so it's at a little bit of a higher level, and then we can advance it to it being on the ground. This is a good option at home. If you could have a chair near your laundry where you can keep the basket there so you're not having to bend over as much, limiting that range of motion as you get used to this exercise, you build into this exercise. And then you can always lower down as you progress and you get that more advanced element. I'm going to start with an empty basket. There's nothing in here right now. As you continue to practice, you can add some weight to it, add some dumbbells or soup cans, and make it a little bit more challenging. So with it being on my chair, we're going to go back to that hip hinge, and that's the part that we're going to do here. So I'm going to have my feet hip width apart. I'm going to stand relatively close to this so that I'm not reaching out for that weight. It's keeping it closer to my body. And I'm going to exhale as I go into that hip hinge, so bending at the waist here, hinging forward, nice straight back, chest up, and I'm going to grab onto my basket. I'm going to take a breath in, nice little pause, inhale, exhale, come up, keeping that weight towards me. So in reverse again, I'm going to exhale, lowering that weight down. Pause for that inhale. Exhale, bring it up. So same thing, if you have to pick it up, you have to put it down. So we're going to exhale into that hip hinge, put it down, breathe in, exhale, bring it up with that hip hinge and standing. Now as I feel ready to, I can progress that. So go ahead and try that first one a few times. If you feel ready, come back and continue with the advanced part here, which is lowering this to the floor. So again, I want to make sure I'm standing close to it. I don't want to be so far away that I'm reaching for it. And I'm going to be standing here with that hip hinge stance. I'm going to hip hinge down with my exhale, but keep going into almost more of a squat, grabbing that basket, take that pause with an inhale, exhale and stand on up so you get proper posture. So to put it down, I'm going to exhale into my hip hinge, continue into a squat, bring that weight down. Inhale here. Exhale, nice and slowly stand up, keeping that weight close to the body. We'll do that one more time together, and then you can pause and keep going through the video if you'd like. So I'm going to exhale into that hip hinge, deeper into a squat, bringing the basket down. Take a breath in. Exhale, bringing it up and into your body here as well. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Keep practicing this. It will get a little bit easier. Remember, there's always ways to challenge yourself by doing a few more of these exercises or adding weight to the basket as you progress through this exercise. Also, when you're done with this video, go ahead and do some stretching for the lower body, easing those muscles there as well.